How's it going, folks? CR here, and recently I put out a video on the alt-right and SJWs, adding to the discussion. So, this video was a follow-on to a video that was done by Jinx Degen on the alt-right, and in this video I did get some comments from somebody who was on the alt-right. So, I do want to address these comments. This person has kept it civil, so I'm going to do the same with them. And I'd like to address some of their concerns here on this one. Okay, so I'm going to start off with your blanket definition of the alt-right. It's as you say, it's a blanket term for everyone who's against replacement immigration. I'll address what you're getting at there with replacement immigration in this too, but when it comes to the alt-right, I mean, it is more than just being against replacement immigration. I don't think I know a single person on the alt-right who is not some sort of ethno-nationalist, and you yourself have said you're an ethno-nationalist. So I do think that is a kind of a common theme with this. Alright, so let's start with ethno-nationalism. And I'm presuming that with ethno-nationalism, you're talking about the state, giving preferential treatment to some ethnicities over others. If I'm reading this right. Well, that's a bad idea. And these things always end badly. I mean, there's nothing good that comes out of this ever. One example, and I understand this is an extreme example, but the Rwandan genocide. Give a brief history on this. When the Europeans came over, to Rwanda, there were two tribes in the region, the Tutsi and the Hutu. Well, the Europeans preferred the Tutsi over the Hutu. They tended to treat the Tutsi a little bit better than they did the Hutu, and when they left the Tutsi in charge, kind of a privileged status, whereas the Hutu did not get that. Now, the Hutu did outnumber the Tutsi quite substantially, and after the Europeans left and the Tutsi had that privileged status, there was a lot of jealousy and animosity. And eventually that did lead to the Hutu trying to genocide the Tutsi. And they killed quite a few Tutsi. I understand this is an extreme example, but this is one such example of where this type of behavior, where this type of mentality can lead you to. Anti-Semitism. I know you said you were an anti-Semite. You had that in parentheses, though. You said there were a ton of grievances against the Jewish race, and that I would have to be specific unless I'm claiming that they've never done anything wrong. Well, I do want to address this one specifically. So I'm not under any delusions. I don't think all Jewish people are or were angels, and I don't think they are all or were all evil either. People are individuals. Each race has their good actors and their bad actors. You have to take somebody individually. Because a few Jewish people did some bad things in the past, it doesn't mean that every single Jewish person today is responsible for it. I mean, I'm presuming that you are white, and American, so I'm pretty sure you don't like being told that you were responsible for slavery, do you? Alright, well, on that same note, you can't sit there and tell every Jewish person that they're responsible for every bad thing that Jewish people before them have done. You just can't. This is not how a free society works, and this is not how a rational society works. And yes, I do understand that there is a disproportionate number of Jewish people that do engage in identity politics. I am not oblivious to that. However, that is not all Jewish people. Moreover, I am aware that people are going to be more likely to jump onto white identitarians for identity politics than they are going to be, say, for Jewish or any other group of identitarians. However, at the end of the day, I do think that identity politics are toxic, to say the least, and it's going to be kind of hard for you to get on to other people for engaging in identity politics when you yourself are engaging in them. And yes, I do believe they are toxic, for the very reason is that they take focus off the individual, because at the end of the day, this is what society's made up of, is a bunch of individuals, and you have to look at them and treat them as an individual. You have to look at them with the merits of their own actions, and you have to condemn them for the crimes they commit, and the race really should not play a part in any of this. And I'm well aware that many SJWs will look at identity politics to determine, who they think the real criminal is and the real victim is, and will ignore the actual relevant facts of the case. Unfortunately, you do have people on the alt-right, when it comes to, say, a black person committing a crime, well, they like to focus in on the fact that the guy was black. And, and to me, that's not right to do either. You should focus on the actual crime that was committed. Or you should actually focus on the facts of the incident to determine that, whether there was a crime committed, who's the criminal, who's the victim. And identity politics really has no place in that. And I understand that you think racism is natural. Well, be it a natural trait or a learned trait, it still doesn't make it any better. And in fact, you will close doors in life with this mentality, whether you realize it or not. With this being said, I know that I'm not going to change your opinion on this with this monologue. I'm not so naive as to believe this. However, I do hope that you'll actually take at least some of what I'm saying and think about it, and at least question this mentality. And with this mentality, you will inevitably shut out people who are good people. I personally have known some non-whites who have treated me like family. I've known some whites who have treated me like shit. The point is that if you go around judging people by race, you will miss some good people in life. Moreover, this type of mentality will sow distrust in you. If people know or believe you to be a racist, they're going to question what you say whenever the situation involves somebody who is not white. They're going to ask, well, is he lying about this because he doesn't like this non-white person specifically because of their race? Is his perception of these people who are not white, is this playing a call? Is this distorting his judgment? You see where I'm going with this. Before I get into birth rates and migration, I do want to take a bit to discuss the UN. I noticed you posted a document in relation to that from the UN, and I have no doubt in my mind that they are doing this. However, I think the reasoning is a little bit different. You see, you have to understand the UN and the mentality of people who go into the UN. These people, at best, are incompetent and a waste of money, and that's giving them as much credit as I can give them. Really, most of these people are just power hungry. They're looking to wield power. They're in love with exercising that power. They want more of it. They can't get enough of it. They want to control the world in and of a sense. This is why they can say, well, we think man-made climate change is a real problem, and we think we need the power to do something about this, and on the same note, want to continue to populate countries that probably don't need any more population to begin with. I mean, my personal opinion on the UN is we should have cut their funding ages ago. We should have told them, no, we'll decide when we use our army, and when we don't use our army, you guys aren't getting it anymore. We are keeping our vote, though. We are keeping our eyes on you, and that is final. And there's nothing you guys are going to do about it. You know, and unfortunately, the United States is the only country that can actually probably go to the UN and tell them that straight to their face. Unfortunately, we won't. But, yeah, the UN is a very bad organization that should have been disbanded ages ago. As for the declining birth rates, yes, birth rates are declining in those countries. That part is true. What is also true is that those countries are more populated now than they've ever been. We have far better medical technology and far better technology all around. Far better infrastructure all around than we've ever had before. People are living longer. So, it only makes sense that our birth rates decline. This is a sign that our population is adjusting to the conditions. And that's a good thing. I mean, and even here in the U.S., we could stand to see a little bit of drop in the population. It's not going to hurt anything. In fact, I think things will get a little bit better because land will be more available then at that point. And I understand that people who are living in a city, you know, and who are packed in like wall to wall, you know, have that little space. They go to the shopping mall to buy their food, you know, they get their water pumped in and don't realize how much land it takes to actually support a person because they no longer see it. Some of them may have a hard time understanding why. Well, we've got all this vast amount of land out in Russia or the U.S., you know, but nobody's on it. Well, there's a reason for that. And I don't want to go into too many details, but suffice to say, there's nothing wrong with the declining birth rate, and really our population dropping a little bit is not going to hurt anything. In fact, I think things will get a little bit better. So at this point you should know my opinion on this blanket mass immigration. The fact that I am against it. We have more than enough people in this country. And the fact of the matter is that the more we take on, the more overpopulated we're going to become. And at the end of the day, we're really not even helping the countries that these people are coming from. If we keep on taking on more of their migrants, they're not going to do anything to change their government, their politics, their culture, or their economy so that they can adjust themselves to their increase in population. They're just going to keep on sending their excess population to other countries as long as we keep enabling them to do this. So, there you have it on mass immigration. And on that note, I am going to wrap this video up here. Hey guys, comment, let me know what you think. Y'all take her easy out there and have a great day.